FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
We're at the point where we're changing the whole paradigm of how you interact with applications. Now that they're on mobile phones, there are things that you can do that change from the traditional approach. You know, under the traditional approach, you spoke to one application at a time, and that application had a monopoly over everything. But now we're talking about conversational apps where you can talk to more than one application at a time. An example of that dialogue is up there on the screen, where you have multiple sentences. In the first one, do you remember that Italian restaurant I went to last week? Now that's really addressing a scheduler, something that knows your schedule, what you did last week. And of course it has to know that you went to a restaurant and it was an Italian restaurant. And you're asked that question. The system's smart enough in the dialogue up here to know that you wanted more than just a Boolean answer. You know, yes isn't quite going to cut it. You need to know something more. It knows you didn't know the name, so it figures you probably know that. So there's some intelligence there. Second sentence, is it open for lunch today? Now that's a different application altogether. You're really asking somebody that knows something about a specific restaurant. You need a database for restaurants. And so you're probably talking to a separate application. But you said something like it. Well, it is referring back to the restaurant. Linguists call that anaphoric reference, and it has to be resolved. That's one of the complications being solved here. Then you go on to say it again gives you more information, like the time, though you didn't ask for that. Then you say, text Chris and tell him to meet me there at noon. Well, again, you have several pronouns. You're referring to things back there. And the text, when it ultimately gets sent to Chris, doesn't say, he'll tell him to meet me there, or I'll meet him there. It says, Chris, I will meet you there. So, in other words, you have to change the pronoun. And of course, it would also give the name of the restaurant. These are just a few highlights, but you can see in order to get something to work across multiple applications, there has to be some sort of sharing going on, sharing of knowledge and information, and it has to be done at a fairly high level. If you do it at a low level, like passing words, that's not going to work. You have to pass something on a semantic level. It's just a slight overview of some of the issues that are involved. This is a conversational app. It's very different than what you've done in the past, where you have to say appointments, and then you say, what appointment do I have tomorrow? Or restaurants, is there a restaurant that's an Italian restaurant, etc.
You know, is this a realistic scenario right now? I mean, this doesn't feel like anything that you can do today. Is this?
Mark my prediction, you will see applications like this before the end of this year. Commercially available, yes. We're talking about going 2 magnitudes of order more sophisticated than what we've done before. Before, again, you have this monopolistic view. Now we're talking about this cooperative conversational approach. One of the problems we've had in dealing with natural language is there are so many layers of complexity, and we have to start modeling language differently.